Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back here again for another Friday. We are quickly closing in on the win or go home, do or die game for the AFC North Championship between the Baltimore Ravens and our Pittsburgh Steelers. And here in a moment to kick off the show, we are going to be talking about the latest Steelers injury report. And at this point in the season, for as much adversity as this football team has gone through on the injury front this season, the best injury report that you could possibly have for this humongous game the Steelers got here today. Who is looking up? Who is looking down for that game? We will talk about here in a matter of moments. After that, we will get into some hockey and baseball as well. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they are riding high, cruising right along after the Christmas break right now. Since we last talked, 2 more games for them, a dominant performance a couple of nights ago and a nail biter that they finally were on the right side of last night. We'll talk about that. Also, we'll discuss the latest in Pittsburgh Pirates free agency rumors and reports. The big fish right now that everyone is talking about, Japanese third baseman Kazuma Okamoto, his posting period about to expire at 5 p.m. on Sunday. So between now and then, we are on watch right now. This channel, between now and 5 o'clock on Sunday night, should the Pirates sign Okamoto, we could go live at any moment to break down that news. So those are the 3 things that we are going to talk about here tonight. Mainly the Steelers injury report, the Penguins in their red-hot stretch here after the holiday break, and the Pittsburgh Pirates pursuing their third of the 3 big league bats that we really needed them to go after this offseason. After that, we'll get into some extra Pittsburgh sports news and your guys' comments along the way, which, speaking of, if you are new here to the channel, welcome to the Steel City Sports Report. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, also leave a like on this live stream, share this live stream, and if you go to the comments section, any thoughts, questions, opinions, anything relating to the 3 professional Pittsburgh sports teams that you want to talk about, please, by all means, get those in the comments section right now. Also, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and come back a little bit later on tonight for SCSR 60. To the comment section we go here. Black Magic in here. Welcome back, Magic. Glad to have you back as always. 7 of you already in here. I expect that number to go up as we move along throughout the night. Like I said, beginning with the local football team, as they are about to head into maybe the biggest game of the Mike Tomlin era, because Tomlin, when he took over, we were still in Super Bowl contention with our, Hall of Fame quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, and so many other Hall of Famers. Since then, pushing damn near a decade now, this team has not won a playoff game. Well, you want to get to the promised land of hoisting a Lombardi trophy again. The playoffs, they start this weekend. Steelers in a playoff game against the Baltimore Ravens, the winner winning the AFC North and going on to host a home wild card playoff game. There, ladies and gentlemen, is where we start, because we are going to talk about the Steelers and Ravens injury report. For the Steelers, going right to the point right now, the best injury report that we have seen from them in quite some time. Literally, as the banner right there says, everyone is up. Not a single person that you are seeing here on this injury report, not a single player with a game status. No one is doubtful. No one is questionable. No one is out. If you're healthy, basically, we're going by if you have a pulse, if you're not risking life or limb out there on the football field, then you're going to play. Great stuff that you want to see here from the Steelers. Sort of going from a chronological standpoint over the past couple of days. Most of these guys that you see here, meaning the guys that were out for last week's game against the Cleveland Browns, they did make a return to the practice field on Wednesday, and for the most part, did not have any sort of setback in their rehab and revamping up to joining the team coming up on Sunday night. TJ Watt, he made a return to practice. Brandon Eccles, James Pierre, those guys were back as well. Pierre missing the last 3 games with a calf injury. Isaac Seumalo, Calvin Austin, those guys returning to practice on Wednesday as well. And also Ben Skoranek, who is on the injury report, hasn't missed any games, but he's been literally held to just special teams reps because he had a hand injury. His hand has been in a cast. No cast for Ben Skoranek anymore. He catching passes. Looks like he might be able to contribute and chip in some on offense as well. Basically, everyone that you see, of course, on Wednesday, a limited participant. There were only 3 full participants. Of course, Roger Skoranek and Christian Kuntz, who haven't missed any time. On to Thursday, some of those guys had an uptick in their participation, some not so much. James Pierre had a bit of a setback with an illness on Thursday, so he did not practice. But the likes of Isaac Seumalo, he was a full go. Some other guys were limited again. And then today, the good news, Steelers practicing over at Acrisure Stadium, not staying in the warm and cozy confines of the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. Nope, they wanted to get outside, out in the elements like what they are going to be playing in on Sunday night at Acrisure Stadium. Everyone up. Watt, Seumalo, Austin, Eccles, Pierre, all of those guys that you see participating in some way, shape, or form. Seumalo just taking an off day there, but everyone else full goes. That is what we love to see, and no one has a game designation. Everyone who has been out for the past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month in some cases, I think with TJ Watt, all of those guys making a return. The big one, of course, TJ Watt, who we are talking about right now. Watt, getting him back, that is absolutely humongous for this game. You're probably going to need to win this game on defense with the offense having no DK Metcalf because of suspension. Game 2 of his suspension will be served in this AFC North Championship game. Watt today, speaking on his injury and his road back to playing on Sunday night, said that he feels really good. Not sure that he could have said that a week ago, but he is excited to play. From a limitations standpoint, I love Watt's optimism, but I don't really think he's going to get to this point. Watt said he had a great week of practice. He had no limitations. He tried to simulate as much as he could with shoulder pads on and stuff like that. So he feels really good right now. He's hoping that that is the case Sunday as well. If I had to guess, even though Watt says he feels great, this is still something that not your everyday football player does. Coming back from, you say, a knee injury or a shoulder injury, that's one thing, going back out there and playing through that. Talking about your lung, getting surgery for a partially collapsed lung, sure, you may have your wind back in a practice setting, but when you're out there in a game, it is a whole different animal. So I love Watt's optimism, saying that, he feels good. He feels like he shouldn't have any sort of limitation. I love that. I'm sure he feels like that or thinks that, but if I had to guess, Steelers probably going to put him on a pretty strict snap count coming up here on Sunday night, which, hey, I'm all right with. I put it in the thumbnail for tonight's video. Some of Watt is better than no Watt at all. So you're probably looking in the 15 to 20 snap limit range for TJ Watt. That's all right. If you're able to get some quality play, stopping or at the very least limiting Derrick Henry from your Alex Highsmith and Jack Sawyers of the world, put in Watt there. Hopefully the offense gives you a lead. You can put Watt in there in that sort of mercenary role, put him in advantage situations, let him get after the pass rusher and go from there. Some other things from Watt on this whole thing. I said that he has been very emotional during this whole lung issue, said it was very scary and that the lung, partially collapsed lung, understandably, was something that he had significant pain with. Said that it was a sudden thing, just went into work normally one day, got the whole dry needling thing done, and then boom, he needs surgery like immediately after that. He did say that he is going to take a break from dry needling for sure. So I'm glad that he's saying that. Kind of like, remember, sort of in a playful role a couple of years ago when he fell into his pool after cleaning it. He was like cleaning his pool with the long net, and he fell in, almost hurt himself there. Fans were like, all right, let's take a break here from dry needling. I think we can all agree, TJ, stay away from a needle for the rest of your career, please, because we do not want to see that again. Watt did clarify, though, this whole dry needling thing with TJ sort of has taken a backseat in recent weeks with, the Steelers win against the Lions, the Metcalf situation, the loss to the Browns. No one's really talked about it that much. TJ did confirm that this was someone in the Steelers building, someone employed by the Steelers that did this to them. He said that he has never brought in someone from the outside on any of his procedures, rehab, getting stretched out, none of that. So nothing out of the ordinary here for TJ Watt. He didn't bring in someone new. This wasn't, just some Joe Blow that they brought off the street. This was someone employed, I believe, by the Steelers that did this to TJ Watt. So that even raises that whole situation back up. Like, all right, is the head going to roll here because, your $41 million guy gets put on the shelf for 2 to 3 weeks. You're able to win, I think, 1 or 2 games without him. But that Browns game, I think we could say that might be a different story if TJ Watt is in there, instead of being on the sideline. So still, this whole Watt thing, a lot of gray area to it. Hopefully we find out more and we get a resolution to this at some point later this year, maybe in the off season, something like that. I'm sure the NFLPA is still looking into that. We also heard from a couple of other Steelers over the past couple of days as well. Aaron Rodgers, he spoke yesterday he spoke on Wednesday and discussed his future goals and his future plans here. Was asked about potentially retiring at the end of the season, maybe after this weekend, should the Steelers lose. Mike Tomlin said he wanted to do his best and make sure that this wasn't the last game of Aaron Rodgers' career. Rodgers didn't give much of a, shift one way or another, really keeping us in the dark on if he'll retire or not. His quote here, I'm 42 years old at the end of the season. I'll be a free agent. Not a lot of options, but I would think maybe 1 or 2 if I decide to keep playing. So that right there, Rodgers sort of saying, I'm getting older. I'll be 42, I am 42 right now, but also still keeping all of us guessing, keeping us on the tips of our toes here, the edges of our seat, saying, he's got a lot of options. There's a free agency period coming up. Honestly, do we really believe Rodgers all that much? Unless he gets one of his dream teams that he was holding out hope for this previous offseason, like the San Francisco 49ers, or I'm not sure if this place is appealing to him at all, like the Minnesota Vikings, something like that. Do we really believe Rodgers is going to want to go anywhere and risk another New York Jets situation? I don't really think so. So Rodgers sort of hinting that he's retiring, but also hinting, maybe the right situation comes along, maybe I'll come back. Hopefully that's what the Steelers we will see, hopefully with a couple playoff wins under his belt. Maybe that'll convince him to come back to the Berg. We also heard from the 2 coordinators, Arthur Smith and I believe Terrell Austin, offensive and defensive coordinators. Just one key takeaway from their press conferences yesterday. Arthur Smith talking about the loss of Darnell Washington on the offense. He said that does not eliminate the Steelers from using some of their different packages that have been very successful this year, especially recently, the jumbo tight end package and the Spartan packages, the tush-push formation that the Steelers run. He said that Darnell, his loss, will not eliminate those. Well, they didn't eliminate those. He's got a quick turnaround here, Arthur Smith. What I'm saying here is that once Darnell Washington got injured against the Browns, kind of seemed like those packages went away. Hopefully now he's figured it out. Like, I saw someone come out with this. Why not, I know Darnell on the Spartan formation, he's the one pushing Connor Hayward. Why not get Y.A. Black out there or Cam Hayward? I'm sure Cam picked on his little brother Connor, pushed him around all the time as a kid. Now he can do it legally in a game and pick up a big first down. So hopefully, a week now without Darnell Washington, they're able to keep that stuff in the fold here and that it remains as effective as it has been recently. Washington, by the way, yesterday getting put on injured reserve. The Steelers elevating from the practice squad Jack Driscoll and tight end Jaheim Bell. So we may get to see those guys in place of Washington. As for Terrell Austin, not much to say from him. The coaches, really, they have kept things close to the vest when talking about the Ravens for this matchup. Austin just saying he's happy and that it'll be great to have TJ Watt back on Sunday. That's for the other side of this situation. For the Ravens, their quarterback, Lamar Jackson, we heard earlier in the week that he was optimistic to play and that if he was healthy enough to play, he would, from head coach John Harbaugh. Now, Lamar today confirming he's feeling good. He will be the starter for the Ravens coming up on Sunday night. So take that for what it's worth. I think some Steeler fans, they've been having some dialogue recently. Who would you rather have? A healthy Tyler Huntley or a banged up Lamar Jackson? People have been talking about that. I kind of fall on the Lamar side of it. Call me crazy, because Tyler Huntley goes in there. He's been, really not all that much of a downgrade from the way Lamar has played this year. And also, you got Derrick Henry in the backfield. I think Harbaugh is going to be stupid and put the ball in the hands of his banged up quarterback over the horse of a running back he has in Derrick Henry. The Ravens injury report for today, their final injury report, they have 3 questionables. That is Marlon Humphrey with an illness. He did not practice today. He just popped up with that illness today. So we'll see if the Ravens' top corner, I think he's still their top corner. Don't think that Wiggins has knocked him off of that pedestal yet. Marlon Humphrey, Taven Bryan, defensive tackle, and also wide receiver Rashad Bateman, the third wide receiver of the big 3 they got there in Baltimore with Zay Flowers and DeAndre Hopkins. Bateman, 3 straight days not practicing with an illness. He is questionable heading into the weekend. Everyone else on the Ravens injury report: Hopkins, who was just resting, Jackson, tight end Charlie Kolar, you got fullback Patrick Ricard, linebacker Roquan Smith, Ronnie Stanley, Kyle Van Noy, Andrew Voorhees. Tons and tons of big names, kind of like the Steelers, on that Ravens injury report. Majority of those guys will play. Some other guys questionable. So right now, we are looking for one hell of an evening coming up here in about 48 hours, ladies and gentlemen, where the Steelers and the Ravens, it's the whole thing. If you have a pulse, if you're not risking, some serious health concerns by going out there and playing Sunday night, you're going out there. So Ravens, Steelers, everyone is up. We will see how things go from there. What are your thoughts on it? Steelers getting TJ Watt, James Pierre, Calvin Austin, Brandon Eccles, all of those guys back. And what are your thoughts on Lamar Jackson getting the start for the Ravens over Tyler Huntley? Let me know in the comments section. We go to the comments section to discuss more about this right now. Tons of new commenters in here. Concepts, Lance, still got Magic in here as well. Going to get to your comments right now, try to catch up on them. Concepts here. We must live in the moment. Every year I get so excited for football to return, and I let records ruin that. I love football. I enjoy the games more when I go into them with no expectations. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just excited to watch my team battle and give their all. Just enjoy the moment till the first scam call, at least. Had to add that part, LOL. I wouldn't expect nothing else from you. Their Concepts. Yeah, I'll admit, past 2 days, not live streaming here for the channel with New Year's. Had a whole bunch of stuff going on. As a matter of fact, here tomorrow, I think all the Christmas decorations in here are probably going to go down. But I'll admit, just like you, I have a feeling a weird majority of Steelers fans have gotten this way as well, where, taken a couple of days off, you sort of refreshed the batteries, refreshed your thinking. Let's put the Browns game behind us and let's, look at some of the positives. You're getting a lot of guys back here. The Ravens, it's always a close game. Harbaugh tends to smack himself in the face in some of these games. Lamar Jackson might make a critical mistake. He had really, I think, two good games against the Steelers in his career. Both were last year. So as long as the Steelers, I think if they're able to stop Derrick Henry, they got one job to do. I think they might be in a good spot here. But I'm still feeling like they'll ultimately lose the game, but starting to, give them a tiny bit more of a chance than what I've have been willing over the past week or so. So everyone on the list has no game designations. That is correct, Concepts, except for the guys who, of course, are on injured reserve and aren't put on the injury report. And, of course, DK Metcalf as well, who's been suspended. Nobody on the Steelers injury report has a game designation unless something insane like an illness or something happens. in the next couple of days. I saw James Pierre have an illness. Hopefully he didn't spread that to anyone else unless something like that happens. If you're healthy, if you're good to go, then you're going to be out there. If you're 50%, 30%, if you're, not going to be risking serious bodily injury or health injury, anything like that, you're going to go out there. So we will see what's coming up here on Sunday night. What's going on, Lance? Glad to have you back. Shout out from Mon Valley. Happy New Year. Indeed, Happy New Year to all of you here. First live stream of 2026 going on right now. Magic here saying it's too rigged. Talking about how we reached this point with the Steelers and the Ravens. I think we all should have, been ahead of this before even the ball kicked off against the Browns. The NFL, they wanted their matchup. Ravens, Steelers, two marquee franchises of the NFL, two franchises that for the past quarter century have been constantly doing battle with each other to see who is champions of the North. We should have expected it. Last game of the season coming down to this, like this, home playoff game on the line, loser gets eliminated. See even people taking wagers out there that whoever loses this game is getting fired from the head coaching standpoint for both of these teams. So should have expected this, really. Got some more comments in here. What is going on in here, ladies and gentlemen? Lance here. A-Rod loves it. He has another year in him. He will stay here. Nice mentor year for Howard. Just about to say that, too, before you added that on the end. Will Howard definitely needs a mentor somehow, right? I think we're all still delusionally aboard the Will Howard train. But, I mean, hey, dude wins a national championship. How can you not be excited about that? If, gotta be honest here, you don't bring back A-Rod, then you don't know what the hell the Steelers quarterback room is going to look like next year. You want to start Mason Rudolph? All right. I mean, might be 500. You want to see what Will Howard's got? Fine. If not, you're looking at maybe overdrafting someone if you trade up. The Steelers are feeling bold with the draft in their own city. They trade up, and then you're not going to get Fernando Mendoza. I mean, he's going to be number 1 overall pick, but a Dante Moore or someone like that, you feeling froggy about one of those guys? Or, geez, I don't even know who the top quarterbacks in free agency are. Malik Willis? Maybe Atlanta cuts loose Kirk Cousins and you go another wrong side of 30-year-old quarterback to be your bridge guy. I don't know. So A-Rod definitely, I think, is at the top of all of our lists. If he wants to keep playing, got to bring him back. Seems like the team loves him. Just does he have that itch still to win and play football? I don't know. Hopefully a win here on Sunday night and maybe a playoff win in the postseason. That could switch his mind over to coming back another year fully. We shall see. Concepts here. Kenny G, hands down the best offseason addition of any team in the NFL. I was saying this before free agency started and was ecstatic when it happened. RB1 from day one. Got a good bit, a lot to talk about Kenny G coming up here a little bit later on in the extra Pittsburgh sports news. I think what you're alluding to there, Concepts, is a team award that Kenneth Gainwell was awarded here today. Definitely deserving of that. We will get to that here in a little bit. Magic agreeing with that statement. Yeah, Kenny Gainwell is a dog. Kenny G going to get a bag after this year. Hopefully it's with the Steelers too. What is it? 1 year, little over $1.5 million for Gainwell. That is the biggest bargain deal for his production that you will see across the NFL this season. He's going to get a bag. I'd offer him right now the Jaylen Warren contract, and I'd still think you'd have a running back room under, what, $12, $15 million, somewhere in that range. You'd have him under that. Gainwell, Warren as your 1A, 1B. Maybe try to mix in a little bit of Caleb Johnson. I don't know anymore. Steelers, if they have a third-round pick for the next 5 years, just trade them away because they don't work. So we shall see. But, yeah, Kenny G, definitely going to make some big boy bucks here in the offseason. Gainwell, dangerous pass catcher. Lev Bell used to also be a great wide receiver. Have seen a little bit of that from Gainwell. Think I've seen the memes and people putting out there. Gainwell turning into Lev Bell. He could motion out as a wide receiver whenever he wants. As a matter of fact, now that Myles Garrett is in the rearview mirror and the Steelers don't need to worry about protecting against him every single play, I wouldn't be shocked no DK Metcalf. Kenny Gainwell, your leading receiver, go 2-back set for most of the game, for all I care. 2 running backs, put Warren in the backfield, get Gainwell out wide as a wide receiver. He can do it. So I would love to see that from Kenny Gainwell. Go in here. You guys got more comments in here. Hope our defense has been using the jugs machine. Shadur threw 5+ picks, but Moncrief influenced the defense last week. Yeah, talking about Kyle Duggar dropping, or I shouldn't say dropping. That should have been an interception 10 times out of 10. I still have no idea where his mindset was on that missed opportunity to pick it off that turned into a touchdown. I don't even know if anybody's even asked him about it. So, yeah, please, defense, jugs machine, every single day this week, hopefully, leading into this game. If the Ravens, if they give you a bone, you cannot afford to lose it. This is must-win game. This is when your $160, $170 million defense needs to step up and make a play. Can't leave any turnover opportunities with number 22 in the backfield on the other side. Cannot leave any turnover opportunities lying on the table here. So definitely, please, defense, we need to get it in order here. I bet they run Henry directly at Watt the whole first series to see what he has. Maybe, though, you expect Watt to start the game off. I think they might start with their whole Highsmith on one side, and then they'll mix in Herbig and Sawyer on the other. As a matter of fact, I might play Sawyer a little bit more than Herbig today because you're going to need some big bodies to stop that big moose, Derrick Henry. I think you start Sawyer and all that, and you see TJ Watt near the back end of the game because you're going to need Watt to be in there when the weighty moments come, either to get after Lamar Jackson or if the Ravens, say they go up a little bit, you put in Watt there to try to put out the fire, make a play. I could see them using him in those certain situations where the defense either needs a spark or a big play and put TJ in advantage spots where he's only going to rush the passer here. Got paid and no longer fights. Talking about TJ there, Magic. Going off on number 90. Not having a TJ Watt-like season, but is he having a season that is still better than 75% of defensive players in the league? Maybe even upward close to 85, something like that. I would say that. Royer Family Videos. Welcome, Royer. Glad to have you here. Also, we got Jonathan Harvey in here. Welcome, Jonathan. Pittsburgh 9-6 after the fire Tomlin chants. If the Steelers lose and miss the playoffs, will the Steelers fans at the draft chant fire Tomlin again? I don't even think you're going to need to wait for the draft there, Jonathan. I think you will hear that as Tomlin and company walk off the field. You might get a smattering of applause for Aaron Rodgers when he walks off the field because I say, it's almost clear cut. If the Steelers lose this game, Rodgers retires for sure. You might get a little bit of a cheer for Rodgers coming here for 1 year and giving us the best offense that we've seen, quite frankly, since Seven retired. But you might even get those Fire Tomlin chants returning to Acrisure Stadium as soon as the ending of that game, maybe even beforehand. Let's say the Ravens, kind of like what they did in the wild card game last year, if they start running it right down the Steelers' throats and they're up by 2 scores with 10 or 12 minutes left to go in the ball game, and it's clear that the Steelers have nothing in the tank for a response, then yeah, you could be getting Fire Tomlin chants immediately there. It's wild to me how most Steelers fans nation, or how most of Steelers nation is ignoring the Browns defense being ranked number 1. What team hasn't struggled against them? Actually, Concepts, this is where I'm going to go against you here. I'm sorry. Talking about the Browns defense not being number 1 here. Let me just real quick here. I hate to do this to you here, Concepts, but teams against the Browns defense. The Tennessee Titans put up 31 points on this Browns defense. The Chicago Bears, 31 points. The 49ers, 26. The Ravens, 23. The Jets, 27. Probably was Tyrod Taylor, too. Or no, I think that was the last start of Justin Fields. The Patriots, 32. So as much as I, see the excuse of the Steelers going up against the Browns defense being ranked number 1 here, still, though, I mean, you had all those other teams that either completely suck and are fighting for as high of a draft pick as they possibly can, or a team that is going to make the playoffs, maybe even be a 1 seed. All those teams put up, at least 25 points on the Browns defense. Steelers only put up 6, so I'm not giving them that much of an excuse concepts. I apologize. But, even without DK Metcalf, got to do better than 6 points. DK has lost his guarantees. I knew he costed us the playoffs. DK actually did not. We got that update, I think, on Monday or Tuesday this week. The Steelers will not be voiding his guarantees, so he is still going to get paid just about every single cent of his contract. Steelers not going to give him any sort of slap on the wrist, sort of nothing like that. Got another one here from Lance. What a great break for Howard getting to go work with A-Rod every day, watch and learn. Yeah, definitely even seeing like the little mannerisms through practices and the way Howard throws. He's taken that stuff from Rodgers. Does he have, the mentality and the mental capacity of learning the game of football and understanding what's going on that Rodgers has? I don't think so with Howard, at least not yet. That can only come with experience as well. But if Howard can get a fraction of the skill and talent and football IQ that Rodgers has, then I'll be quite all right with him and seeing what he got here. Go in here. Magic says he is tired of Rodgers. Sells us in out losses. Not sure where that's coming from. He definitely has been playing his worst football in some of the Steelers' worst losses of the season, but let's also not forget that I believe Rodgers, in the way he's played, has won us a good bit of games more than it's cost us this year, so I'll take that. Concepts here like Malik till he pulled in Adam Sandler for the longest yard and sold the game versus the Ravens. Quarterback sneak, takes snap, just stands there, doesn't even try. Made me skeptical of him. Yeah, saw people bringing that stuff up too. Lance, Lev Bell was a freak. Should have done one more contract with the Steelers, then retired. Blame his agent for that. Think as time has passed on, not much of us are blaming Lev Bell for that whole fallout with the Steelers. His agent giving him terrible advice, gets even less money from the Jets, and like how most of the NFL careers out there, NFL careers go to die when they go to play for the Jets. So that sucks for Lev Bell. Concepts here in the offseason. Want to look at who was available when we drafted Caleb Johnson. I like the pick end of the 3rd round, but his tape was questionable to me. I never understood people projecting him early round 2. I still, think going off of college tape, Caleb Johnson, I believe, was my 5th best running back in that draft. I mean, still, he was a good value pick at the 3rd round, but now, hindsight 2020, yeah, you got to wonder who the Steelers could have had then. Looked great then, but now it's a different day. Connor fumbled away most games that play and was always hurt. I am a big Connor at Pitt fan here too. Yeah, talking about James Conner. I think I'll give Connor a little bit of a pass for how his Steelers tenure ended. Look at the offensive line in front of him. Had freaking Chooks Okorafor and Trey Turner and a whole bunch of other guys who are either not in the league or just barely clinging on to roster spots blocking for him. My dad in here and Highsmith we trust. Indeed we do. Need a big day from Mr. Highsmith. Even though TJ Watt is back, should be no excuse for number 56 to take his foot off the gas pedal that he has been hammering through the floor in recent weeks. I mean, talk about a guy who we don't really talk all that much about as getting paid big bucks and not living up to it. Highsmith has done a complete 180 in getting tons of production. As a matter of fact, and from that Browns game, Highsmith, he was pretty much the only guy worth a damn compliment. 2 sacks. Just another tackle he eats alive. So yeah, Highsmith, please keep it up here. Concepts here saying put the franchise tag, I believe, on Kenneth Gainwell, $10 to $17 million, fully guaranteed. The equivalent of talking about the Le'Veon Bell thing. My bad there, Lance. Yeah, I don't think Lev Bell was going to be taking the franchise tag back then, if I remember correctly. 42 years old, so everyone has to accept every so often we get the 42-year-old. Yeah, talking about Rodgers and some of his struggles. Can't do everything that he once was able to do. It's like that old, what is it, Toby Keith song? I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. Hopefully we get more of that version of Rodgers coming up here with this big game on Sunday night and heading into playoffs. Keep Highsmith trade TJ, says Magic. Trade TJ for Joe Burrow. Now that, is that going to happen? No, but that does bring up an interesting thing. I mean, you think about the Bengals, they're still paying Burrow and Higgins and Jamar Chase buku bucks, and they're going to lose Trey Hendrickson. I think that ship has sailed there. So could they use a dynamic pass rusher? The Bengals, yeah. Could the Steelers use a quarterback? Yeah. That is a trade that's a hypothetical trade that makes maybe some sense, but also it'll never happen because it's two division rivals. So that is crazy thinking there, Magic. Love your outside the box thinking right there. Rodgers be doing too much, throwing to MVS 3 straight times is dumb as hell. I do agree with that. Really, Rodgers, I think for the first time in that Browns game, I think we saw him from the mental side of things, from the in-game adjustment and decisions side of thing. I think that's where Rodgers failed us the most in that Browns game, not so much from the physical part of things, even though he did have a couple of balls sail on him. So hopefully Rodgers is able to dial that back in and make better adjustments and decisions instead of, I know it's your Green Bay buddy here, but this ain't Green Bay anymore, pal. That's like a distant 5 years ago. Also had Kenneth Gainwell wide open one time on the 4th and 1 go ball to Scotty Miller. He had Adam Thielen wide open over the middle of the field. Hopefully Rodgers, being the tape and looking at the film junkie that he is, hopefully he's able to see some of that stuff and make the proper adjustments. Even though you might have a one-on-one on the outside, and I'm sure you have maybe some overconfidence and more faith than you should have in the guy on the outside. It's always, good decision to just take what the defense gives you, go to the easy thing over the middle, and keep the chains moving, constantly moving up the field. A-Rod had the look at Cleveland like he did at San Diego, jittery and rushed. Agreed there. I think also, this was brought up after the fact. Remember when Michael Strahan, I doubt, any of us really remember it, but anybody remember the quarterback that Michael Strahan sacked? Well, I put sacked in quotation marks because the quarterback gave up. Anybody remember who he broke the sack record on? Brett Favre. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, as much as he has kind of followed the career path of his mentor Favre, going from Green Bay to the Jets, I don't think he wanted to be in that same company as Favre, being sacked for a sack record here. So I think Rodgers was more, worried about not getting taken down by Garrett than anything else. So we'll see. Hopefully that jitteriness is out of the bag and he doesn't feel as rushed this time. I think the most, from a pass rushing standpoint, who does he have to worry about the most? Maybe Kyle Van Noy, something like that. Roquan Smith, sometimes when he rushes from the middle. So we will see there. Favre made a fool of himself. Yeah, indeed he did. And Rodgers did not want to be put in that same conversation, as much as people like to put Favre and A-Rod in the same category together. 12 of you in here right now. Welcome into the live stream. Welcome to the Steel City Sports Report. First news live stream of the 2026 year. Also, please come on back, all of you in here, on Sunday night. We will be live for Steelers versus Ravens. As a matter of fact, this is going to be the first time that I pop it up here. The graphic or the thumbnail for that game coming up on Sunday night. Made that this afternoon. Steelers Ravens, AFC North Championship, as Mike Tomlin likes to call it. And the two all-stars of these offenses. Kenny Gainwell, Derrick Henry leading the charge on the thumbnail here. Hopefully, number 14 able to best number 22 in as many possible ways as he can there. So excited to be back here on Sunday night. Hopefully, you guys come along with me. Gonna switch gears here for a minute. We'll get back into some Steeler talk here in a moment, I'm sure. Just real quick, gonna get through some of the other main stuff we wanted to talk about here tonight. Let's go over to hockey real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Keep things moving along here. Since we last spoke, the Pittsburgh Penguins, I believe they came out of the holiday break. I believe they went 2-0 in the games that they played. Now they got another 2 wins. The Pens on an absolute tear. Remember that whole month stretch leading into the Christmas break where a third period lead wasn't safe. The Pens ran out of the building in some other cases. Well, now they have done a complete 180, and dare I say this team is playing like they got a shot to be in that playoff picture here when the trade deadline rolls around here in a couple months. Back here on Tuesday, the Pens, they were in action against the Metropolitan Division leading Carolina Hurricanes. I believe at that time, the Pens second to last in the division, the Hurricanes at the top of the division. No real changes to the Pens lineup in that time. They acquired forward Yegor Chinakhov from the Columbus Blue Jackets. He was not in the lineup for that game. And Penguins, they didn't really need him for that game. You want to talk about from opening puck drop to final horn, the Pens running out of the building their division rival, who is head and shoulders above everyone else right now. The Canes, absolutely no answer for what the Pens had. The Pens just moving the puck so fluidly up ice, jamming whatever counterattack the Hurricanes had. Brian Rust, he was able to set up the first goal of the game, won a puck battle below the goal line, got it out front to Ricard Raquel. He taps it along to Sidney Crosby, who just buried it on a one-timer. 1-0 Pens. That is Crosby's 21st goal of the season, just a little under 4 minutes into regulation. That is also crazy enough, going back to Tuesday night, the first lead that the Pens had all for the entire time that Stuart Skinner has been in pipes for them. That is the first lead Skinner has had as a Pittsburgh Penguin. Pens weren't done there. Justin Brazeau gets a nice stretch pass from Brett Kulak, new Penguin as well, from that Skinner trade. He hits Brazeau. Brazeau getting just hogtied on his way in to the net. Backhands one past Freddie Anderson for another goal. That now gave Brazeau 7 points in his last 8 games. That was also Kulak's 100th NHL assist. Brazeau just continues to be an absolute hot commodity for the Penguins. You want to talk about something? I'll sort of tie this back to football here. I believe it was Concepts, you just a moment ago, counting Kenny G as one of the biggest bargain bang for your buck free agent acquisitions of the NFL offseason. Justin Brazeau, no sort of joke here when I say he might be that for the Penguins. You're talking about a guy who not even, or maybe a little over halfway through the season, already has set a new career high in goals and is just lights out here for the Penguins throughout the entire season when he's been healthy. Brazeau, was not expecting this from him. He has been outstanding. Penguins, again, weren't done. As soon as Brazeau scored, they immediately went back on the power play. Anthony Mantha scores the power play goal near the front of the net, tipping home, I believe, an Eric Carlson shot. So it was 3-0 Pens after 20 minutes of play. Second period, no signs of slowing down. Tommy Novak, just an absolute whip towards the net. Don't even think he was looking at the net. It finds a hole and goes in. 4-0 Pens. Then Mantha, Brazeau, they team up again. Those two have been on a line for most of the season. They're just missing the third big body from that line of Evgeny Malkin. Mantha deflecting home a Justin Mantha, deflecting a perfect pass from Justin Brazeau, sort of a skate by the crease of the net right there. 5-0 Pens. Mantha, Brazeau, 3 straight games for points for those guys. Most goals among players on new teams this season. Brazeau and Mantha each in the top 5. The only sign of life that the Hurricanes had all night long back on Tuesday was former Penguin Mark Jankowski. He was able to sneak one by Stuart Skinner, but that was all she wrote. 5-1. The Pens taking down the Hurricanes on Tuesday night, defeating the Metro leading Canes. Stuart Skinner outstanding in net for the Pens. On to last night now. You see right there, Penguins, Detroit Red Wings. First game of the new year. Yegor Chinakhov in the lineup for the Pens. Pens doing a bit of lineup shuffling, taking Ville Koivunen out, putting Chinakhov in. They picked up right where they left off against the Hurricanes. In his 100th NHL game, Chris Letang getting the game winner. How we got there, Sidney Crosby, aging like fine wine. I know it's a cliche sort of analogy to go with, but it's true. I mean, Tom Brady of his sport, he can play till he's 45 if he wanted to. Crosby getting the first 2 goals of the game on the Red Wings in a hurry. Crosby on the second one, picking off a turnover, just absolutely going bombs away, beating Cam Talbot. The Pens, again, not stopping, though. I should say instead of scoring, they did not stop taking penalties. That's what I meant by that. You had Tommy Novak taking a double minor high sticking. The Red Wings, they had like 3 different power plays in a row, and they finally converted on one to make it 2-1. 2-1 after one. Officiating continued to take over the game. The Penguins getting called for absolutely horrendous things, and the Red Wings even getting a little bit of help from the hockey gods. Simple dumping around the glass, goes off a stanchion, pops right out in front to a vacated cage. Arturs Shalov's in net, went behind the net to stop the puck. Turns out it doesn't even reach him, pops out in front, and the Red Wings score. So it was 2-2 heading into the third, and that's when the intensity ratcheted up a bit. Fans were restless with the officials until the officials got back in their good graces a little bit. The Red Wings appeared to score the go-ahead goal with 7 minutes to go, making it 3-2. The Penguins video group, they see that the play was offsides. They challenge it. The goal comes back. Blake Lizotte, then, I think 3 minutes later, able to just spin and take a whack at a knuckling puck. It flutters over the right shoulder of Talbot and in, made it 3-2. Unfortunately, the Red Wings did with another power play attempt. I think the Penguins got called for like 5 penalties to 1 in that game. The Red Wings, they were able to tie it up. Alex DeBrincat banks, or I should say, puts home a bouncing puck off the boards to overtime. That is when Mr. 1,200 games himself, Chris Letang, who he needed this in a bad way. I mean, you're talking about a dude that has been, I hate to say it, just wretched at some points to watch. He absolutely needed this in a bad way. Letang takes a backhand sauce pass from Sidney Crosby, winds up one times at home. It was in and out of the net so quick. Didn't know if it hit the crossbar and out or not. Nope, it was a goal. 4-3. The final with the Pens. The big stars come into play. Crosby, 2 goals. I believe Erik Karlsson in that game recorded his 900th point of his career. And Chris Letang ending it all for the Penguins. 4-3. The Pens now 3-0 or 4-0 out of the Christmas break, and hopefully showing no signs of stopping anytime soon. The Penguins, they were back on the practice rink today. Some good news, but also not new news for them. The Pens getting back Evgeny Malkin at practice today. He taking line rushes for the first time in a while, but was wearing a non-contact jersey, so no true change in Malkin's status. But hey, being back out there with the team, got to think that's a positive sign that he could be coming back here in the coming weeks. And that's the latest for the Penguins. Pens on a roll right now, really picking up the vibes as of late for Pittsburgh sports as a whole. Let's go back here to the comments section here before we move along here again. Going to switch over to some baseball here for a moment, and then we will wrap up with some extra Pittsburgh sports news. Guys in the comment section talking about the NFL draft and Fernando Mendoza, I believe I see there. Go in there. Guys talking about Myles Garrett. Then Herbig. Herbig will punch the ball out first drive on you-know-who. Want to see if you can guess who I mean. Throwback to the first meet last year where Boz had 6 field goals to win. Yeah, I do remember that. Didn't Herbig have a punch out to begin that game last year, I believe, in Pittsburgh? Hopefully more of that from number 51. We'll love to see that. Like the quarterback from Arkansas, says Magic. Arkansas? Do you mean Mendoza from Indiana? I think Arkansas, that's what, Tylen Green? Do like his athleticism, but I don't think he's draft eligible. Mendoza got benched. Now, who is top quarterback in the draft? JK, I know the game was out of reach by then. Yeah, Mendoza's definitely number 1 in this draft. And then I think you get into Dante Moore from Oregon, number 2. And then after that, I mean, just a whole bunch of, do you really want to pick this guy that high? Talking Ty Simpson from Bama, John Mateer from Oklahoma. I would be intrigued by Mateer as like a 2nd or 3rd round pick because, you know, the athleticism's there. And if his hand is all right, then I think he's got some potential in there. But no real quarterback is blowing me away. So that's why I think we're all, even if things don't go right here in this game on Sunday, why we still might take Aaron Rodgers over drafting any quarterback. And here I'm a Pitt fan. Meant the other comment before. Yeah, Concepts, my Pitt brethren in here. But we are taking a hit right now, Concepts. I will say, Rasheem Biles entering the transfer portal. Kenny Johnson, he's gone. Eli Holstein, now that Heinchel's taken over, he's hitting the portal as well. So, yeah, just... yeah, not going well for us Pitt Panthers. We also got Martin Whitehurst in here. Welcome, Martin. Doubt that Okamoto signs with the Pirates. Starting to get those doubts creeping in as well here, Martin. Why I say that, we're going to get to right now. Latest, ladies and gentlemen, in the Pittsburgh Pirates' pursuit of Japanese third baseman Kazuma Okamoto. We have been talking about Okamoto on this channel for a while. The perceived, if the Pirates were to get a deal with him done, he is the perceived 3rd of the 3 big league bats that the Pirates needed to add this offseason. They already brought in Ryan O'Hearn in free agency. They traded for Brandon Lau. Third base, still probably the biggest hole lineup-wise on the team right now. Okamoto would fill that with flying colors here. The latest on Okamoto, sort of going in order here from when we last spoke. Back on Tuesday, you had a South Korea paper, I believe, the Chosun Daily. They, ahead of everyone, I guess, putting out there that Okamoto is set to join the Pirates at third base. Also, some other positive news for the Pirates in their chances of getting Okamoto. John Heyman, MLB insider for The Athletic, said that the LA Angels, who, along with the Pirates, were the perceived favorites for Okamoto, the Angels, they have shown interest in Okamoto, but aren't expected to be aggressive after him, even after, sort of fixing the contract with Anthony Rendon. So that put the Pirates and really everyone else second. Then we got some not so good news over the past 24 hours. You had another Japanese star, I believe Tatsuya Imai. He signed with the Houston Astros, and Imai, a pitcher who is represented by the same agent as Okamoto, Scott Boras, who is the end-all, be-all, the Thanos of player agents. Boras, the contract that Imai signed, big money, I believe, 3 years, $63 million. And not only that, every single year of the contract had an opt-out. So no guarantee that Imai was going to be no guarantee that Imai is going to see beyond 1 year of his contract. The Pirates don't really peg them as a team or organization that does those contracts with opt-outs. They sign a deal. They want that player to stay there. if Boris, who's represented Imai, if he's looking for the same thing for Okamoto, I don't know if the Bucks are going to be willing to step outside their comfort zone and give him a 4-year contract. But if, say, Okamoto has a big year, he can opt out of the contract and go to free agency and make double what he would sign with for the Pirates. So that doesn't bode well for the Pirates. What also doesn't bode well for the Pirates, Robert Murray, another MLB insider, a fan-sided today, saying that the Pirates doesn't seem like they are the favorite to land Okamoto anymore. As a matter of fact, he said he is, quote, I don't think the Pirates are the most likely landing spot for Okamoto as of this point. So less than 48 hours to go. By this time, 2 days from now on Sunday, before we go live for Steelers versus Ravens, we'll know the fate on if Okamoto is a Pirate or not. Now as the clock, starting to wind down here, the Pirates, who have been the favorite for most of this thing, they're now at the last minute going to get one-upped by a big market team, something like that. I believe the Toronto Blue Jays are now being mentioned in on Okamoto. Maybe even the Chicago Cubs have something on Okamoto. The Red Sox as well. Who the hell knows? So we're sitting on pins and needles right now. Would I love to have Okamoto? Absolutely. You're talking about filling the third base spot and really filling out your roster and opening day lineup for this season with another slugger, this time from the right-handed side of the plate. Okamoto certainly does that, but now we're getting nervous. I wouldn't lie if I would be lying if I said I haven't been refreshing Twitter just about every half hour looking for stuff on this. So we will see. We'll see what happens if Okamoto becomes a Pirate or not, and we will go from there. Hopefully, if they don't land Okamoto, they pivot on to my second favorite, Eugenio Suarez, but there hasn't been really much of anything linked to the Pirates for Suarez. If not, I guess we're going to need to eat our humble pie and settle for a Yoan Moncada or who the hell knows, maybe even Jared Triolo starting at third base. So we will see. Okamoto, Pirate rumors and reports. That is the latest on him. Again, between now and 5 p.m. on Sunday, we will be standing by. At a moment's notice, this channel could go live, and we'll be talking about the Pirates having a new third baseman, hopefully. If you don't hear anything, any sort of live stream between now and Sunday night, Steelers-Ravens, then means the Pirates, they didn't get him, which would absolutely suck. 13 of you in here right now. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Also, leave a like, share, and leave a comment in the comment section. Going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here in a moment. So we will start to wrap up the show. Before we do that, let me go real quick back to the old Twitter timeline, see if we have any new information, any new news on what is going on in any of these sports. We have anything new on the Steelers, anything on the Penguins, Pirates, something like that. Seeing this, I am going to star that. Seeing something Olympic roster-wise for Team USA. We'll talk about that in a moment. Showing all the players that didn't make it, making up a B squad for Team USA. The B squad might be the A squad. I'm sure you can see my enthusiasm in Team USA's Olympic roster for hockey. Anything else? The Minnesota Twins, Derek Shelton country, making a trade, getting a first baseman from the Marlins for a pitcher. Interesting. Wonder what Derek Shelton's feeling like, talking about the Pirates and the moves they made. Wonder what Shelton is feeling right now, seeing, oh, look, this big strapping first baseman DH Ryan O'Hearn is now here. We only got maybe the statistic-wise best second baseman in baseball last year on the team now. Bet you he is not too happy, but hey, job he did as manager, I don't think really warranted all that much help anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on to the extra Pittsburgh sports news, beginning to wrap up tonight's live stream. These just the loose end news stories that we don't get too attached to and just buzz through real quickly with a couple of comments. Back to football and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe Concepts alluded to it earlier. We will now make it official. Kenneth Gainwell, congratulations to him. He was on the graphic for Sunday night's game just a moment ago that I popped up. Gainwell, the reason why he's there, voted the Steelers' 2025 team MVP by his teammates, and very deservedly so. There have been some debates among fans. Is it going to go to the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers? Where does, Joey Porter Jr. Factor into all of this? Mr. Over 1,000 snaps, not giving up a touchdown. But Gainwell, still think he is the most logical choice as a running back, leading the team with 65 receptions, and he has nearly 1,000 all-purpose yards on the season. No doubts if he is able to avoid injury that he will get that against the Ravens coming up here on Sunday night. So Gainwell has been a beast, like we've been talking, shown signs of another, versatile, multifaceted running back that we all love to watch and love Bell. Hopefully Gainwell able to continue more of that. For a guy signing a 1-year free agent deal and on depth chart wise before, training camp began, was maybe going to be the RB3 of this team behind Jalen Warren, who is finally going to get his shot, and Caleb Johnson, who was a pretty high draft pick. Gainwell going from maybe on some depth charts RB3 to the MVP of the team. Congratulations to him. That is awesome. Steelers, pay the man. Start with a Warren-like contract and work your way from there. Also, congratulations to Patrick Queen and Derek Harmon. Those two guys 2 days ago getting awards themselves. Queen winning the Chief Award. That is the media given out award for media cooperation. That is given out annually by the Pro Football Writers Association of Pittsburgh. Congratulations to Patrick Queen. And also Derek Harmon winning the Joe Green Performance Award for Rookie of the Year. Don't think there was really any other rookie in consideration for that award other than Harmon. I mean, Harmon, night and day difference in the running game when he is in there versus when he is out. Caleb Johnson, not doing a whole lot. Jack Sawyer only started, one game. You had Y.A. Black, who has been used sparingly as a reserve guy. Hell, maybe even Black. He probably would have won the Joe Green Great Performance Preseason Award for how he did in the preseason. But Derek Harmon, the no doubt favorite and correct choice right there. So congratulations to Harmon, Queen, and Gainwell on their respective awards. Back into hockey here for a moment. The Penguins, between their two games, those two fantastic wins that we were just talking about, they also made a trade back on New Year's Eve. The Pens, really a minor league trade when you break it all down, acquiring defenseman Igor Zamula from the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for forward Philip Tomasino. Basically, for me, my read on that trade, they went from Philip Tomasino to the defenseman equivalent of Philip Tomasino. Young guy, potential quickly fading away, acquiring a young guy struggling on one team, not being able to find a spot consistently in the lineup for another there. So I really don't make all that much of that trade. Both guys, I think, are restricted free agents in the last year of their contract as well. So both guys are also going to report to their respective new AHL teams. So Tomasino out, Igor Zamula now in for the Penguins. Also in hockey news, like I just mentioned a moment ago, was not too happy with Team USA's hockey Olympic roster for the men. No Brian Rust for the Penguins making that team. Thought he could have been in strong consideration for being a really Swiss Army knife. Guy does it all. Power play, 5-on-5, penalty kill, you name it, Brian Rust can do it. However, he did not make Team USA's Olympic roster. No Penguin making Team USA's Olympic roster, except for maybe if you sentimentally count it, former Penguin Jake Gensel. Also, going to other Olympic hockey rosters, of course, congratulations. Easy slam dunk choice. Sidney Crosby again joining Team Canada for the Olympics. This is his 800th time now representing Team Canada, and I'm sure he is going to get the C put on his chest once again. And last, congratulations to Erik Karlsson and Rickard Rakell, both of those gentlemen making Team Sweden for the Olympics. Very deserving there. Last Penguin story for the day. Mentioned it a couple of nights ago on SESR 60. If you checked it out, thoughts and condolences and prayers out to the family and loved ones of former Penguins forward Lowell McDonald, a part of the Century line with Silaps and John Pronovo. McDonald, longtime television producer as well for the Penguins, did a lot of stuff for the Penguins organization, and unfortunately he passed away, I believe 2 days ago. So rest in peace to Lowell McDonald. Also back into Pirates here to wrap up the day. The Pirates, of course, we remember, I think it was 2 days ago, Roberto Clemente, 53-year anniversary of his passing, doing humanitarian work, I believe, for Cuba. Wonder what history and legacy of the Pirates organization, what it would have been had Clemente still been around. So rest in peace to Roberto Clemente. Back into the Pirates, just two little extra stories on them here today. The Bucko Bricks thing from last season apparently will not go away. This really, from PR standpoint, the Bucks PR for this offseason been mostly positive. I mean, fans still aren't that enthused about Ben Cherington and Travis Williams, those guys making a return to the front office. But the Pirates, Don Kelly back as manager, adding legitimate bats to the lineup. Paul Skeens wins the Cy Young. Tons of good vibes for the Pirates. And then this Bucko Bricks thing makes a return. Apparently, someone who was getting a commemorative Bucko Brick returned to them from the Pirates was contacted by the Pirates to ask what the message was on the bricks, on the brick. First off, that's big no-no number one. I thought the Pirates had this whole thing situated out. Thought they had all the messages that were on the Bucko bricks and we're going to get them back out to the correct families. Apparently not, because some Pirate fan was emailed by the Pirates saying if they could get from the brick owner what the brick said. The person said that they were unsure, but the name on it was William Bradford, and the Pirates literally put that on the brick. Unsure, but it had William Bradford's name on it. So what it says on the brick. Seriously. What are we doing here, Pirates? Don't all of a sudden, all the good graces that you've gotten fans back in there, don't flush it back down the toilet right now. So let's figure that out a little bit. Let's figure out the Bucko Bricks thing. And last thing here, the Pirates losing a player today. Boston Red Sox signing longtime Pirates minor league outfielder Matt Frazier to a contract. Thought this guy would eventually get a shot at the big league level, but don't think he ever did. Frazier, a .305 batting average this past season in the minors, but now he is off to Boston. All right, ladies and gentlemen, think that just about is going to wrap things up here tonight. Back to the comment section before we call it quits here. Bet Rogers voted for Kenny G. Glad he's our quarterback, stand-up guy and leader. Yeah, Rogers has been gushing over Kenny Gainwell, saying stuff like, told you when you come here I was going to get you paid. I wish I played with a guy like you for 10 years. So Rogers, yeah, big Kenny Gainwell guy, definitely earned the vote right there. Wonder how close the vote was. Seemed like it was close to unanimous from the reaction video I saw of the players getting told the news. So congratulations to Kenny G. Magic in here. Next jersey I'm thinking Levon Kirkland or Rod Woodson. Can't go wrong with either of those. Wonder, I think my Jack Ham jersey I put in my closet. So maybe we'll break out the Jack Ham jersey for Sunday night. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Kind of have a feeling that for Sunday night's game, we're gonna go with a more plain look. Don't think my record wearing jerseys on live stream this season have been too well, so we'll go with a superstitious route, I should say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, taking one last stroll here through Twitter. Not seeing a whole lot, so that is going to wrap things up for the night. What is the Concepts? You still in here? Turns out our Pitt Panther woes get even worse. Remember how I just mentioned Rasheem Biles hit the transfer portal? He's set to visit Miami tomorrow. Miami, who is one win away from going to the national championship. That is just great. Great. Other than that, I think that's about it. Not seeing too much here. So thank you all. Have a good rest of your Friday night. Like I mentioned, we will be back here on Sunday night. Sunday night football. Steelers-Ravens AFC North Championship on the line. A home playoff game awaits the winner. The loser, eliminated. Head coach, going to be probably one of the hot talking points of the offseason. Will they get fired? Will they won't? Who the hell knows? We shall see. On your way out, if you have not done so, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel again. Like this live stream. Share this live stream. Leave a comment in the comment section after the fact. I will get to your comments there after the fact. Leave you a like. Give you a response. And also go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Check out the channel later tonight for SCSR 60. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Friday night. Back here on Sunday. Steelers, Ravens. Very excited about it. Getting juiced up about it. I know you all are well. Hopefully the Steelers will be celebrating an AFC North championship for them coming up on Sunday night. Excited to get that game going. See you back here then. Have a good rest of your Friday. Peace.